Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be Hairy Muppet, and I am going to be casting a free-for-all game just because I love free-for-all games, and I love to see what people do when they are in free-for-all games. Anyway, we do have a whole bunch of players. Our first player is a top left side. He is the red Protoss Athiotes, and I believe he is in Platinum League when this game was cast. And the bottom left, we do have Bersaire, blue Terran player who I believe is in Diamond League, and the other two players I believe are unranked, but we can assume that there similar levels of gameplay. Down the bottom right we have MSPN, Teal Zerg, and up the top right we have purple Protoss player Envy, and on top of that we do have a very epic sort of music going on in the background. I hope you can at least somewhat hear it over my voice, but just in case you can't, I'll shut up for a minute. Of course, just as I stop talking, it starts getting into the boring part of the song for the violin and whatever else it is. There was a massive amount of horns going on before, and so it's sort of whatever. Back to the game. We've got a bunch of barracks going up for the Terran players. We've got a bunch of drones coming up for the Zerg player, and the Protoss player is building a probe, which is somewhat to be expected at this point of the game. We'll see exactly what happens. Looks like nobody's going for an early expansion, which is a very good choice on free-for-all maps. But we'll see exactly if this free-for-all game turns out to be like I think it'll be. And how I think it'll be is just people turtling in, building up a massive amount of carriers slash battlecruisers slash broodlords and corruptors, and just going in for an all-out attack, and only coming out of their base to fight over expansions, which is how a lot of free-for-all games tend to turn out. Personally, I try and go out and do a little bit of damage, get a small force around the 10-15 minute mark and try and take guys out. Usually I take somebody out who is teching up for battlecruisers or stuff, so I wipe them out without too many problems. And the problem is, somebody else, meanwhile, is not getting attacked, manages to get up the battlecruisers, and at that point I'm just like, well, I got nothing. I mean, they got three upgrades for everything, they got like 20 battlecruisers or something. I'm just like, what am I supposed to do at this point? I can't do everything. I mean, and they always seem to attack me. That's the bad part about actually going out and attacking people, because not only you're getting close to the game, but you're also removing a potential target for that battlecruiser to attack. So the battlecruiser's like, alright, red just took out purple, so what am I going to do? I'm going to attack red. And then that would be blue saying that, and then teal's like, alright, blue's attacking red, what am I going to do? I'm going to wait till red whittles down blue's forces, and then I'm going to attack blue. And then teal ends up winning the game because he's been doing jack all game, except for just set for macroing up. So it's basically the case of whoever can manage to macro up a large enough force and not get attacked during the entire game is usually the winner. But it does become a little bit more complicated when you take expansions into it. If it's going to be a really long game, then expansions do become a very, very interesting part of the game. So we'll see how it happens. Looks like most players are going to try and grab their second, and I'm guessing that a lot of people will just be focused on macro at this point and not so much getting a decent army out. They've got to protect like Ling run-bys and crap like that, but most of them will just be teching up, going to get to high attack and going to go straight to their chosen unit of choice, whether that be Void Rays or carriers or whatever it is. You can see he's going for the gas fairly well. If we look at the income tab, Zerg play is actually laggy a little bit behind. I can only assume that he is much worse than all the other players. No, actually it may be because he's going. I take that back, he is much worse than all the other players. Look at this hatchery placement. That is just it just hurts to look at that hatchery placement. It should be right in the middle, and it is not. I'll take my words back if it turns out you can't actually put it in the middle, but I'm pretty sure that he is not putting it in the correct place, because I have seen games on this map before and you can put it right in the center, I believe. But anyway, Terran play is going for a lot of Marines, whether they're for defense or whether they're to smack somebody around in a few minutes, I do not know. Let's go back to the production tab. Looks like this Terran player is going to move into Stargate as well. I don't know if he's going to go battle cruisers. He may very well. He may go for a stupidly large Marine Marauder medic build, which is also good in free-for-all games. What's the Protoss player going for? What's the Protoss player? He's going for gateways at the moment. He's not really moving up to any high tech. He doesn't have a Templar Archives or a Robo facility. So either he's got a plan in mind, or he's just, I don't know, just working on macro at the moment. What's this guy going for? He's got a starport as well. He's getting out a medevac. He's got these NG bays. So, alright, so Marine Marauder medic from that guy as well. And this Zerg player is just like, yeah, alright, I thought he was still okay because he was building these extra hatcheries, but given that nobody's mining off them, I've got to say that the Zerg player does not look like a very strong contender in this game so far. I think he's, I don't know, unless everybody leaves him alone to just macro up to on his own devices, I don't think he's going to do too much. But this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Look at all those Marines. They're just, yeah, they're definitely the dominant force in this game. This guy, he's just going for massive amounts of gateway. I wouldn't be surprised to see not a Templar Archives, this other building. What is it? It's a Robo facility. What is that, a building? I can't remember what it is. Fudgesticles. It's the building where you get Zealot speed and the blink. Tal'Darim something or other, I don't know. It's not Tal'Darim. It's, oh, fuck, I can't remember. Whatever. There it is. Twilight Council. My god, why is that so hard to remember? He's going to get that. I'm guessing he's going to go for speed or something like that. He could possibly be going for Colossus. A nice bit of Stalker Zealot Colossus army would of course do very well. This player, my god, he knows how to play a free-for-all game. He is going for a massive amount of buildings. I would not be surprised to see him go for a third base sometime soon, but he's still working on the workers. You need to be building workers there, Sonny Jim. You need to get those workers out. He's not getting the workers out, but he really should be. Anyway, I think he's doing pretty well in terms of eco. We have our first attack going on, Widow Mines. This Zerg player is completely clueless at this point, and I don't think he is going to be able to do much against this. But the funny thing is, he's got so little drones here that the splash damage is actually not going to do that well. He's got some Marauder and a Marine, so the purple player may wipe out the teal player without needing to send in many units. Look at this, 4 Lings and a bunch of Spine Crawlers. That's all he's got so far. That is going to be enough to drive off these forces, but that is not going to be enough to win him the game. And here comes the other Terran player. He's going to be like, hang on, this is not going to work. I do not know how to produce a command center on top of a hatchery. Let's look back at the schematics. Yes, no, maybe. No, I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, we may have to reevaluate our construction plans at this site. So he's going to reevaluate them, and the Terran commander is going to produce an acceptable way around that problem, which is of course to go out and destroy the hatchery. We should expect to see him do that at any second, although the red Protoss is sending an observer down to have a look around. If we have a quick look over at the army, red Protoss is actually in the lead. He's got a very large amount of Stalkers. What is he producing over here? Some Immortals, so Stalker Immortals, not going to be too bad against the Marine Marauder force. The main thing that these guys have to worry about is the Marauders, and Immortals of course just own them all over the face. And yeah, I mean, if he got some with these Stalkers, it should do alright versus Marines. And of course, if he did have the whatchamacallit, the Zealots with legs, then they would do even better versus the Marines, because Marines are not that good versus Zealots with legs. Right now he's just going Stalkers. I can only assume that he has Blink. I've actually, because it's a team game, I've gone back to the original layout, so I can actually see if he's got Blink or not. And he's still researching it now, so that's fine. He's getting some upgrades as well, so that's good. He hasn't got anything yet, but he's getting 1-1 coming out at this moment. Purple player already has 1-1. He's got a fairly large amount of Marines Marauders, and when I say fairly large, I mean fairly medium / moving on to large, because they're not really a large amount at the moment, but he's got the production capabilities to get a large amount, so in a couple of minutes he is going to be able to produce a scary amount at any one point. But he really does need to think about that third base, and this guy, I can only think that this is a defensive planetary fortress, building it out there against the Zerg player, but haha, joke's on him. The Zerg player is not going to have anything to attack him with, because he's oh my god. Are you seeing this, guys? Are you watching this? Oh my god. This is going to be the first time that a player has been knocked out of a game by 2 Widow Mines. And the funny thing is, he hasn't even moved his workers over to the second hatchery. He's building them all at this first hatchery, and he's he's trying to put the spine crawler on top of the Widow Mine. He's like, hang on, this is not working. There's something underneath me, and it's just not moving. That was a bit of miss micro. If he was microing, it hit the lava. It actually killed the lava though, but he's going to hit the... Okay, that's it. This Zerg player is definitely out of it. It's fun watching him, but I'm sure there's more important things. No, one more. We're going to see one more drone kill here. Come on, Mr. Widowmine. Oh, look at that. That took out 2 drones. Alright, that was awesome. Back to the army. A whole bunch of Stalkers here, a bunch of Immortals. These guys are going to do pretty good. There's another Widowmine, but he knows that's there. He's sending one Stalker out in front. He's a little bit scared of being shot though. There we go. This red player, this red Protoss, knows what's going on. He sends out a single Stalker. And here we go. Here comes the stim in with the Marines. And the Protoss player. Look, he's planting Widow Mines all over the place. He got hit by there. He got hit by there. So he's got to go in. I don't think the Terran player has enough. But these Widow Mines, if they get off some nice hits, they may even the odds a little bit. This is a bit of out of position. These guys get in. He's going to have to blink out some of them. He's going to push back. And right now, I am very happy to say that nobody is going for battle cruisers, carriers, or a massive Broodlord army. So we're not going to have any of those people of questionable skill going for a massive amount of macro and then a massive amount of tier 3 units at the end of the game, while being in an extremely vulnerable state for the first 25 minutes of the game. We are going to see actual armies going out there and defending bases. So this guy is going on to the third, the red one, and the blue one still already has their third going on, and this guy is very well defended. Look at that, cannons coming out the wazoo. We go over to the Zerg player, and the Widow Mines are still going strong. I have no idea. He's started moving the drones over to the second base, so that's something. I will give him props for that. It's an excellent move under the circumstance, but one excellent move does not make up for an entire game of just sucking pretty hard. I mean, we've got to be honest here. I don't want to badmouth players for not being good, because I'm bad-mouthing potential viewers. I've had people emailing me saying, you cast my game, I watched the cast, I like the cast, thank you very much, and you're a good commentator. And I'm like, that makes me happy, because I like casting people, and I like people knowing that I'm casting them, and I know it's got to be a fairly good feeling to see one of your own games where you did a good job actually cast on YouTube. If you pulled off some really nice high Templar sort of stuff, if you pulled off some really nice attacks, then it's nice to see somebody on YouTube saying, yeah, that was a great job, it was a good cast, it's nice to watch yourself. So I try, and put everybody I can in a fairly positive light when I cast their games, but sometimes it's a little bit hard, like right now. So we are going to assume that this particular teal player is a bottom level bronze player. It's his first game in about 3 months. He's never played Heart of the Swarm before. He didn't know what the Widow Mines were. He thought that it was some sort of, I don't know, earthquake mounted rocket or something, and as it turns out that he just didn't have much of a chance in this game, but he gave it his best shot. He went in there, he did some good amount of damage. Whereas when I say good amount of damage, I mean he built a hatchery over here and it lasted at least 5 minutes before he got wiped out. So congratulations to the teal player for getting in there, getting stuck into it, and he did something, alright? He didn't just sit at the hatchery with his workers not mining at all. He went out there and he made a go of it, and I say good on him for that. But he is pretty much out of the game at the moment, and these guys going into it, they're going to go to the Protoss player's base. However, this guy has siege tanks. So I don't see this blue force doing that much here. He does have 3-3. Purple only has 1-1. So he's going to do a nice bit of split here. He's going to go in there, but my god, he's taken a lot of... That's not actually a lot of hits, that's just a lot of stim. He's doing a massive amount of stim. He might still be able to wipe out these force with these extra upgrades, but the siege tanks are going to stop him from aggressing anywhere into that. And he's going to load them all up into the medevacs. He's going to drop them in the main base. And this could be damaging. There's no workers here, but these production facilities... It would be very bad if they got it taken out. Of course, for this force and for these siege tanks, it's going to be an absolute pain in the ass to get up there and defend it. So the purple player is in a bit of trouble at the moment, and meanwhile the Protoss player is just sitting back and he's like, you guys fight it out and I will pick up the spoils. And here he goes. That's an excellent job there. He's actually putting his guys up into dropships, moving them over there, so he's going to get a starting force in there, but that starting force is not going to be enough to wipe these guys out, but it gives him time to get the rest of the forces in here. Unfortunately, he split his forces up. These guys got wiped out, then the reinforcements got wiped out, and splitting those up has allowed this blue force to actually go in there and do the damage they needed to it. Of course, the production facilities are all down, so not going to be good. It may have been a better option, thinking about it, to actually move the army up all as one, group around this area, and then go in as one, with maybe with the siege tanks as support. Siege tanks should be able to wipe these guys out. Do not move up the ramp. Siege up there. Just for God's sake, siege up there. Do not siege up on top of the ramp. That's a very bad option. You are not doing a very good job here. Siege up. He's going to take out these forces regardless, but that's fine. He's going to push it away, but I think this purple Terran has been crippled at this point, and we can see the blue Terran has continued to macro up forces, and the red Protoss has continued to be good at whatever he's doing. So if we have a look at the army, the blue player lost a little bit here, but I don't think he's down that far. He's 180 out of 200. So all we can do now is wait for the inevitable conflict between the blue Terran and the red Protoss. And here it is, this one Marine setting off the war. Maybe they could have lived in peace for the rest of the game, but that one Marine, an aggressive exchange against a defenseless pylon, I should say, and now the war is on. The red Protoss is not going to take that attack lying down. He is going to go in there with a single zealot, and he is going to attack this refinery, and it's just going to escalate from there until it turns into a complete all-out war. You can see this blue Terran, is going to start pushing in. He's going very aggressive with the expansions. The red Protoss is going to try and move out there. He may be thinking, he may know about some of these. Oh, shut up you. He doesn't know about any of them yet. So yes, he's going to go there. Terran force going to go in here. Going to get quite a bit of workers, or maybe he's just going to go for the Nexus. He's caught the Protoss army out of position. This is going to be very good for him. There we go, the Nexus goes down. Marauders, of course, are specialists at killing these guys. So there we go. He's got to run back. He's got to get in position, though, because this Protoss army, oh, they've got the high ground. They've got the perfect position here. And did these guys disconnect from Battle.net, or did I disconnect from Battle.net? I really can't tell, but my god, this is just an awful, awful, awful position for the Terran army to be in. He needs to back out. He needs to get a more favourable position, but he's not. He's got to make a push of it, and he is going to lose his army right here, right now. Unless he can manage to take out those Colossus, but I don't think he's going to be able to. The range on the Colossus is just too long. He just doesn't have any Vikings, and he's going to have to retreat here, and I think that may be the end of the Terran play. If the Protoss keeps up the push here, I think the Protoss players should be able to win this game. And there we go. There is a free-for-all game. It's not quite over yet, but I think it is close to being over. And lots of excitement. That's one thing you can say about free-for-all games. Maybe they don't take quite as much skill as a 1v1 game, but my god, there is excitement all over the place. And of course, we have our first contender for... No, I won't go there. I won't go there. I'm not going to make fun of this Till player anymore. We've already said he did the best he could. And yeah, he did a good effort, so we're going to say congratulations to him, and we're going to say big congratulations to our red Protoss player, because I don't think there's any chance that he's going to lose the game at this point. He's going to go in there, he's going to wipe everything out, and we should expect to see the GG coming on. This purple Terran player is actually building up now. Didn't completely defeat him, but he is building up a lot more. However, I don't think he's going to get enough in time to actually defend, but the Protoss player does have to act. He can't sit back on his ass and let this guy build up again. He has to go in there and start doing some attacks. But I think he should be alright. He didn't kill all these siege tanks, but siege tanks, I mean, they're not going to be able to rip through this army. Stalkers are pretty beefy, Immortals are extremely beefy. Immortals are great counter versus tanks, absolutely fantastic counter versus tanks. The only problem is it's usually the Immortals get stuck behind the Stalkers and they can't get in range to actually hit the tanks. Range of 6, so yeah, they usually get stuck behind the Stalkers. So if you micro them individually and flank the Immortals in to the tanks, that's when they do their best damage. But you have to flank them in, because if you just put them in at the same group as the Stalkers, they're not going to get in range of the tanks because they'll be stuck behind the Stalkers, because I believe the Stalkers are faster. Yes, the Stalkers are faster. So the Immortals always end up clumped up the back. But anyway, I don't think it's going to make a difference with this amount of Stalkers. He's going to go in there. He's going to do some damage. He's going to finish this purple Terran player off. And that will be the end of the game. Although what's he going to do? He's going for a massive amount of expansions. Have we reached this point of the game? Have we reached the point where the players are like, you know what? I really want to go carriers, or I really want to go battle cruisers, or something like that. Is this what this bloody Protoss player is doing? Is he going to go for carriers or something like that, or is he just want to max out his army? I think he just wants to max out his army. Here he goes. He's got some Dark Templar in there for good measure. He's got to push in. Purple player is not going to be able to defend this, so we are going to see the final battle of this game. And it has been a fairly good free-for-all game so far. He's going to get... I don't think he has any observers, actually. But, so the Widow Mines are going to take a few hits, but I don't think it really matters at this point. I think he should be able to just go in there, regardless of Widow Mines, and just wipe everything out. There we go, a couple of Marines going in there. They run up, they see the army, they run away. So he's trying to lead them into the siege tanks. And the Widow Mine's actually doing a fair bit of damage there, I've got to say. Widow Mine's doing a fair bit of damage, and this guy's going to be like, alright, where the hell are my observers? Oh! Harsh there. Where are your observers? You have a huge army and you have no observers. That is just bad news for that Protoss player. And my god, is he actually going to put himself in a position where he might lose this game later on? I do not try to put a pylon on top of this Widow Mine. That was not a good idea. But anyway, observers, come on, you're getting hit by the damn things. There we go, there's another hit coming down. There's a Viking coming down, trying to hit the Colossus. But yeah, so the Terran player is doing the right things at this point, but... oh, this is going to be bad. He's going to scan the Dark Templar. Oh no, actually, Dark Templar is going to move in there, go for the tanks up nice and close. Protoss army moves in. Get your observer, otherwise these guys are going to do a bit of damage to you. He can afford to lose a bit of units, but he's lost quite a few of these Widow Mines, so he can't really afford to lose too many more. Fortunately, I think for the Protoss player, he's taken out most of the units there, so I think he should be able to mop up. But really, if there's more Widow Mines in this base, then the Terran player could potentially survive. However, I don't think there are any, and I don't think this Terran player is going to survive. He is moving all his buildings though. He's going to try and set up over here, maybe put the buildings on the high ground, but I think it's just a matter of time before he loses. The Protoss player definitely dropping the ball in not scanning out these Widow Mines with the overseers? Observers, sorry, the observers. He was doing a great job at the start of the game scouting these out, but he's just not bothering anymore. And you could argue that he doesn't need to, but still he was losing way more units than he really needed to, so not good for him. He's definitely not gonna win this game with a perfect record by any stretch, but he is going to win this game. I think there's no doubt of that at this point. Unless the Protoss, no, sorry, not the Protoss, unless the Terran does some sort of derpy thing like moving his buildings off into the corner of the map, which I don't think he's going to do. And here we go, a couple of Zealots coming in there. Gonna go in there. Damn phones. Bah. Anyway, he's going to come in here, he's going to see this expansion. And I think the Terran player is pretty much done for now. But that's fine. Look at this. Is this all cannons there? That's a very wide spaced out cannon sort of thing going on there, but that's cool. Anyway, He's got to float this command center away. He might try and land it here. He might just float it off into the corner of the base. And nice. This Protoss army just Widow Mines. Widow Mines is their bane. Look at these 2 Widow Mines going over to just say hi to those Stalkers. No, not to the Stalkers, to the Zealots. And here's even more Widow Mines. Oh, 1 hit. 1 hit on a Zealot. That's harsh. And here we go. That Zealot army just was not meant to survive. And here we go. We're down to Widow Mines. He's got a command center, a few Marines, a bunch of barracks, and Widow Mines. So there we go. We're going to see exactly how good these Widow Mines are. He's not going to beat this army. Right now is just the Protoss lack of motivation to actually wipe out the Terran player, which is keeping the Terran player in this game. But we'll see. Maybe the Protoss player has fallen asleep or something like that. Maybe he's got his. He's like, all right, you know what? I've pretty much won this game, so let's put my 3-year-old brother in the chair. Let's let him win the game. And the 3-year-old brother's like, ah, look at these guys. They're so pretty. Look at these guys. They're blue. They're big and they're blue and they're all wavy and stuff like that. Look at this. They're blue. It's blue. And he's just staring at the Archons for like 5 minutes. Look at that. I can make another blue one. It's so awesome. And meanwhile, the purple Terran's like, what the hell is this guy doing? But yes, he is. I think he still is in this game. I think he still is thinking about attacking the player at some point. I mean, he's got to be thinking about attacking him at some point because, you know, if he doesn't attack him at some point, then this game will go on forever. It won't go on forever. Eventually, the Terran player will build up a large enough army and wipe him out. But I mean, really, you've at some point you've got to attack. Well, here we go, here we go. There is an observer, so we're already making progress. He was just waiting for that observer, and for some reason that observer took about 10 minutes to build. So there's obviously been a worker shortage. And here we go. These 5 Terran Marines are going to enter the world of mannequins, formerly known as the Blue Terrans base, where every single force, every single unit has been replaced by a stuffed mannequin. They look realistic, but they don't actually do anything. So he's going to do a bit of a run around. I don't know what exactly he's looking for. Maybe he's just he just likes mannequins. But anyway, the red Protoss finally going to go in there. Finally going to make a move. He's got an observer somewhere. There it is over there. So he's going to take out all of the Widow Mines. And the Terran player's like, you know what? I guess it's just done. I guess it's just over. He's going to go in there. And these guys are about to die. They're surrounded by cannons and they're like, dude, what are we doing here? This is not the place to be. This is a death zone. But anyway, the entire map is a death zone at this point for the purple player. Because of course he has lost the game. But anyway, we have finished casting this game. It was pretty awesome. I like free-for-all games. It didn't quite have the excitement of a 1v1 Masters game, but of course that was because these guys were not 1v1 Masters. They were not Masters of any kind. They may have actually been in Masters League, but I think we can fairly conclusively say that Teal Zerg was not in Masters League. I think we can probably set that down and say that's pretty much done. These guys may have been in Masters League and just not caring, but I'd take a guess and say they were less than Masters League. But if there was a free-for-all game with Masters League players going at it like nuts, then that would be awesome. That would be completely awesome, although I think they would probably get really, really frustrated because they'd pull off a perfect attack against one player and then just get backholed by somebody else. And it's frustrating if you're at a high level of play to play a free-for-all game because it's very hard to counter all 3 players at once. In fact, it's impossible to counter all 3 players at once, so it all comes down to luck and to who attacks who. But anyway, this has been this game. We have finished this game. It was pretty awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And if I get some decent free-for-all maps later on, feel free to send them to me. And 4v4 games as well. If you find some Diamond, Platinum, Masters level 4v4 games, send them to me because I'd love to cast them. I love high-level team games. I do not see nearly enough of them, but I do love casting them. And anyway, thank you very much for watching these guys. And yeah, just these guys, their game ended perfectly in time for them because they could just I mean, there will be mannequins from now on. They'd just be sitting there staring at the cannon that's never going to be built, but I suppose it's better than getting absolutely torn apart by a large amount of Protoss cannons, because that's got to suck. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. This has been Hairy Muppet. If you like this game, please subscribe. If you don't like this game, then whatever, you know, it's cool. Just whatever. See you guys later.